guys, this is Nicole Van Tassel with I Explore Science and creator of I Explore Academy, our professional development program designed to help you transition to the NGSS. So I want to talk about how we can help our students engage with us for those of us using like online or remote learning. But also this absolutely applies in the regular classroom as well, so you can like keep these ideas in your pocket for next year. But how our students can engage with us by using gamification strategies. So I definitely didn't have like a fully gamified classroom or anything like that, but I did use some of these strategies in my discussions, and this originally came from, it doesn't exist anymore apparently. I mean, I've like looked online and I can't find it, but it's Socratic Smackdown, and it's from the Institute of Play. And basically it gamifies a discussion. But what I really love about it is it's, students can earn like points, and I wouldn't even necessarily use points. I would probably use like coins or stars or something that's not going to make them think of grades, because it wasn't about rewarding like them for their knowledge or like grading what they're saying all the time. It was more about rewarding them or recognizing the certain types of interactions. So, and obviously keeping that in mind, I didn't want my students to just like throw out nonsense, but I just wanted them to participate, even if maybe their ideas weren't totally accurate or totally refined when we were doing these activities. It was just start like to get them talking. So some of the things that I look for in discussion are like agree, disagree. So instead of, all too often our students just like talk at us, or when we have a discussion in our classrooms, it's us asking a question and a handful of students responding to us. And our goal is to have students actually talking to each other. So this was a way to kind of promote that or help them do that. So they could earn points or coins or whatever for like agreeing with the student and then building on what they said, disagreeing and then explaining why they disagreed with that particular argument, asking questions to refine their understanding of an argument or an idea or whatever it was. And again, it's not just asking any question and changing the topic, but asking a question in response to what someone has said. Using evidence. So this was more of like an academic focus on this one, but I wanted them to, when they gave an idea, I wanted them to tie it back to like an exploration or their text or something like that, some piece of evidence. I didn't focus on all of these at one time. I might pick like 3 that I was really emphasizing, but there's a bunch of them. Devil's advocate, making connections, so linking two ideas that they heard. Like, that sounds like whatever said, or linking an idea to what they're about to say. And then they can lose like coins or stars from different things like that. But taking this general idea, you can very much like transfer this to your online learning classroom, whether it is like a mandatory thing students have to do, or if it is like an optional kind of thing that they could participate in. You could absolutely like gamify your classroom discussions. So let's say you have a discussion board set up for your students to talk with you about their explorations to help them guide sense making and meaning making, you could be using like a virtual class discussion to be doing this. So there's a couple formats. Virtual class discussion, where your students are like all in a Zoom room together with you or in a Google Hangout with you. It could also be a discussion board, like a discussion board format on your class website. But it could honestly even be like a collaborative document. A collaborative Google document if you want to keep things like super simple and just have students sign their names. So, basically you could have students earn points for doing these different things. So you could have them earn points for like, first of all, just participating. So giving comments. You could have extra points for these different components, like talking to each other, agreeing, disagreeing, using evidence. You could even do points for behaviors that are just going to like support their learning. So if they check in every day and like respond to a poll you've put up, or maybe you have like you're doing something like you post a picture and students have to caption it every day, just like a fun, silly thing, but that it gets them connecting with you. It gets them checking in on the class website or the discussion board. It just is maintaining those lines of communication. You could do something silly like that every single day, a funny quote or a reflection or a poll or caption this or a different meme or drop a GIF or whatever it is. And you could give students these like coins or stars to help them, like as a reward for just engaging in that way. So it's not about grades and it's not about grading. It's about just encouraging the types of behaviors that are going to help them in the long run, whether it's learning how to interact and engage with other students in discussion, or it's checking in on the class website. It could be like turning in work at a certain point, or again, not necessarily related to the grades, but just related to getting it done. Whatever behaviors you want your students to do, adding something like this could encourage them to actually carry that out. I don't know what you would do for rewards. That's a little bit trickier. It's much more trickier, but maybe you could think of something that would be valuable to your students that you could also do remotely without like actual contact. I do also want to share, so I'm going to post this document, the Socratic seminar document in the comments, but I wanted to also share, I created the self-assessment that I had my students do after a unit or after a Socratic Smackdown or whatever. And this could be something that you use with your students as well. This is where they were just keeping track of the discussion, so they had their partner's name, but you could also put like each student does their own. And they, after the discussion is over, whether it is a live discussion again or a discussion board, after it's been shut down, you could have students go back and think and like mark every time they referred to facts, every time they asked a new or follow-up question, every time they responded directly to another speaker, every time they paraphrased. And again, you can edit this to make it whatever you want it to be, what you want to focus on. And then have students like self-assess and see what they did well and what they want to do better. And this could also be another like way to, again, not an assessment related to grades, but just like a reflection and recognizing the students that did really great at these aspects and these behaviors, and what behaviors you want to encourage. So I just wanted to share this idea with you. I thought it worked really well with my students in person, and I could see it actually working pretty well with like a collaborative discussion on like a discussion board as a way to encourage that talk even when we're not in the classroom, and also encourage talk in general, encourage specific types of talk, and then recognize when students are doing things that are going to help them learn. Okay, if you have questions about this, let me know. So, I'm going to be sending this link out in my email address, or in my email, like the weekly email that I send out on Tuesdays. If you're still having issues getting my emails, if you haven't gotten them lately, it's probably going to your spam because I've been having trouble with that. Please check your spam folder for it. You can also prevent that from happening by adding my email address and vantassel@iexplorescience.com to your board, to your like address book or contacts list, whatever your server provider is. It's called whitelisting. And that'll ensure that you actually get the link to this. So I'm going to send this out in my email tomorrow, the evaluation, but I will post the Socratic Smackdown file just in the documents here, or in the comments here. If you have questions about either, I used the Socratic seminar in my actual like live classroom several times. It was really fun and the students actually really enjoyed it. But I'm happy to talk with you more about that. Or again, just keep an eye out if you want this reflection. I'm just going to throw that in the Tuesday email, so the email tomorrow, and just keep an eye out for it. All right, I will catch you guys later. As always, if you are looking for more support implementing the 3 dimensions of the NGSS, we have a full professional development program that literally walks you through every step of the way. You can check that out at academy.iexplorescience.com. It's iExplore Academy. And if you ever want to, we have feedback and all of that from, some of our members on there. But if you're like, I want to talk to somebody real, let me know. I'm sure I can connect you with one of our current members. But anyway, thanks. And I hope you guys have a great afternoon.